and I had two choices. One was to go straight to bed and just go sleep. Number two was to choose to read. So I chose number two. I chose number two because I want to become a better version of myself. And if I need to become a better version of myself, I need to intentionally show up. I need to intentionally seek knowledge. So I decided that I'm going to read. I don't know for how long this session is going to be, but I have to before the baby wakes up and calls me. For now, I just want to lock in and be comfortable and get to read. So I am reading this book, Big Trust by Dr. Shade, and I am now reading the final. So it's acceptance, it's agency, autonomy. Yeah, so I'm now reading the third attribute that she is teaching us to have as individuals. We need to strengthen our level of acceptance, our level of agency, and we need to also strengthen our autonomy. And the final one, I'm yet to read about it, but it starts with an A. So once you strengthen those areas, she is saying then you will eliminate self-doubt, because a lot of us struggle with self-doubt, and this is simply because we have not strengthened the various areas in our lives that help us minimize doubt. So I'm just continuing with that, and yeah, I'll see you in the next live, or talk to you in the next live, because I'm gonna lock in for now. But also, I like to just speak out whatever I'm learning, so I might as well just share with you guys. Okay, so yesterday I ended with the part where she spoke about us cultivating, or rather, us making sure that we focus on our internal locus of control if you want to have high autonomy. She is saying that a lot of people lack autonomy simply because they are always focusing on the external locus of control. And she indicated that these are the various things that people do who focus on the external locus of control. They always dwell on what others have to think about them. They dwell on what others have to say. They dwell on the thoughts of the past, and meaning whatever had happened in the past. That is what keeps them fixated on, and they're always obsessed with the outcome. They're obsessed with what is yet to happen in the future, and they're obsessed looking at what others are doing. I'm not sure if I did talk about what others think, but yeah. So this is what a lot of people focus on, and life passes by them, and it also then affects their level of autonomy. So for those who want to strengthen their autonomy, Dr. Shade is saying that there are four things that we need to do. Number one, you need to focus on what your thoughts are saying. Basically, focus on your thoughts. Do not focus on what others have to say about you or what others think about you, but rather focus on your thoughts. Focus on your words and focus on your responses as well as your actions. That should be our locus of control if we desire to have high autonomy. And she is saying, when you believe that what happens to you is a result of your choices, you have an internal locus of control. You believe your actions shape your future, and you focus on what you can influence. your preparation, and response to challenges. Now, this belief reflects the foundation of a healthy sense of autonomy. And the latter, which I just went through earlier, she is continuing to say that when you believe your life is mostly shaped by luck, by circumstances, or other people's decisions, that is an external locus of control. You focus on what you cannot influence. You believe life happens to you, and when things go wrong, you tend to feel powerless. I like it. So she's saying this is how you develop your internal locus of control, right? She's saying you don't need a big plan or a major breakthrough to start changing your sense of control. In fact, it often starts with something small. The language you use to describe your situation, the words you speak out loud or in your head shape how you see yourself and what you believe is possible. Sorry. Now, low autonomy thinking often sounds like I have to or I can't. These phrases quietly reinforce the idea that you have no choice, that life is just happening to you. Now, replace those phrases with I choose to, I want to, or I'm committing to it. Studies show that subtle changes in language can boost motivation and restore your sense of control. Taking, okay, now, the promise of taking ownership. Taking ownership of how you show up is where your power begins. It changes the focus from what is controllable to what is. Instead of wasting energy on office politics, market crashes, ways you've been hurt, or someone else's bad decisions, you center your energy on what you can influence, your actions, your mindset, your choices, and your next steps. As Viktor Frankl, who endured unimaginable hardship in concentration camps during World War II, he wrote, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. I'm repeating this. When we are no longer able to change a situation, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. Now, research shows that people who focus on what they can control, they report lower stress, they stay motivated, and they perform better. Not because life was easier on them, but because they stop fighting battles they can't win. They use their energy where it counts. One of the most powerful benefits of autonomy is that if something in your life isn't working, if something in your life is not working, you don't just sit with the frustration, complain, or spiral in self doubt. You do something about it. And when you can't change the situation, you change how you relate to it. When you know you okay, when you know you always have a choice, you feel powerful, for sure. You feel more in control of your life, and when you have that, it becomes a powerful buffer against self-doubt. And the key part of building big trust, it's how you take back your power. When you know you always have a choice, you feel powerful. You feel more in control of your life because you know there is, because you know you have a choice. So, the high costs of comfort if you are in zone, these are the high costs. The reason why we prefer comfort over growth is because, like so many things, our brain is wired to be that way. We all have a psychological and emotional safety zone where we think and act in ways that minimize risk and stress. It nudges us toward easy over hard, familiar over unknown. It's our comfort zone. We feel safe in it. We feel protected. Your comfort zone might lead to changes to the safety of a familiar routine. It's dodging new challenges, like taking on what big project, like taking on that big project or pursuing a creative opportunity. Because learning new skills or working with unfamiliar people feels overwhelming. Another example is choosing a Netflix binge over having that tough conversation with your partner, or staying in a job you've outgrown because the unknown feels scary, then the dissatisfaction you're stuck with. Whatever your own comfort zone looks like, know that you pay a huge price for it. If you don't develop ways to tolerate the pain and discomfort that come with new experiences, you limit your ability So if you're a writer, for example, and you're afraid of rejection, you just never share your work and miss out on the joy of connecting with readers. If you're a manager, you miss out on the joy. If you are a manager but can't make tough decisions, you will never test your ability to lead others. The worst part about your comfort zone is that it silences you. Sonia had ambitious dreams, but as long as she stayed stuck, they remained just dreams. Self-doubt and the comfort zone work together as partners in crime. They convince you that taking action will make a difference, so you don't bother trying. But without embracing discomfort, you won't grow, and you'll never know what you're truly capable of. Your comfort zone keeps you small. Where you discover what you're capable of. So basically, there's a picture here where if you are in your comfort zone, you remain just stuck. You are in this little box, sitting and holding your knees. You can't move. Growth, progress, goals, fulfillment. These are things that are so far from you. You remain stagnant in that little box. However, when you start moving out of your comfort zone, when you move a step, when you move a step out of that box, then with time, you start discovering what you're capable of. You start to feel growth, you start to see progress, you start to see your own goals, and you start to feel fulfilled. But this is only if you've decided to move out of your comfort zone. This is a picture here. So this guy, or girl, or lady, whatever, he is in a little box here, seated, feeling stagnant, feeling stuck. Nothing is moving, and growth, progress, goals, fulfillment, all this, what is possible, feels very far. This is how it feels to be in the comfort zone. However, the other possibility of stepping outside the comfort zone, you'll notice that this person here was sitting, but here, as soon as they start taking a leap faith, betting on themselves, literally, then eventually you see that growth is now happening. There's now progress in their life. The goals are becoming visible, and then this person is becoming fulfilled just by stepping outside their comfort zone. A lot of us sometimes we find ourselves here, yet we want to grow in our careers, we want to grow in our personal lives, we want to grow in our businesses, we want to grow in whatever we are busy with, yet we are sitting here stagnant. I think for me, interpreting this teaching, what I'm saying is that if I want to get the fruits from either of these areas that I've mentioned here, I need to dare myself to take that leap of faith, take that single step, move out of this small little dark box and start seeing growth, start feeling some progress. A lot of us are here, but you know what I'm liking about this teaching is that if we take a step, this what is outside, it won't be far from us. And for sure, it is available for all of us. We just need to bet on ourselves. Sometimes you just need to take a leap of faith and you'll see what life has to offer. But only if you dare yourself to step out of the comfort zone. So now listen to this. This I like so much. Yeah, she is saying. When I'm saying she is saying, I am referring to the author, Dr. Shade. This book you have to get it. It's really nice. You have to get it. So Dr. Shade is saying, yes, you can do hard. Do the hard thing. Of all factors that have been studied to understand motivation, the most potent one is simply feeling like you are making progress. Even if you're not making progress, the fact that you are doing something about it is all that matters. Progress keeps our motivation levels high, not purpose, because progress gives you a sense of control. When you are making progress, you are telling your brain that you are actually making progress in your life. Now let that sink. Progress keeps our motivation levels high, not purpose. A lot of us think that it's purpose that keeps our motivation high. Yeah. Simply because that is what we've learned. But what she's telling us is that what actually keeps our motivation alive is not necessarily purpose, because purpose is just something that you've set for yourself. But for you to feel that you're indeed moving, you are indeed moving to that purpose that you've set for yourself, you only get to see that movement if there is progress in your life. Progress keeps our motivation levels high, not purpose, because progress gives you a sense of control. There's the direct impact of your actions. You can see it, you can track it, you can feel it. And that feeling of control is what helps reinforce a sense of purpose and direction. Love this. When we are stuck languishing in our comfort zone, progress scratches to a halt. Instead of taking action, you start fixating on your external factors and convincing yourself it's out of my hands, nothing will change. When self doubt leaves us feeling stuck, it's tempting to avoid the hard stuff. I like this. One of the greatest belief shifting statements I wish I learned earlier in life is this: you get to choose your heart. It is key to making progress and retaining control. This was captured in one of the Reddit posts in 2021, which said, marriage is hard Divorce is hard. Choose your hard. Choose your hard. What is the hard that you are choosing? Everything is hard in life. What is the hard that you are choosing? Communicating is hard, not communicating is hard. Choose your hard. Life will never be easy, but we can choose our hard. Pick wisely. Doing something might be hard, but doing nothing might also be hard. You get to choose your hard because everything is hard anyway. Doing something might be hard, but doing nothing might also be hard. It's a matter of perspective. So now, James Clear, if you guys know James Clear, in fact, I think almost everyone knows him. He's the guy who wrote Atomic Habits. Every action you take, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. The small, deliberate actions you take help you prove to yourself that you can influence your own outcomes. And this reinforces your autonomy. I just need to write this down. Every action you take every action you take is a vote for the type of person. It's a vote. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Every every action you take. Yeah, I'm gonna underline this. This is what James Clear said in his book Atomic Habits. Every action you take is a vote. It's a vote for the type of person you wish to become. The small, deliberate actions you take help you prove to yourself that you can influence your own outcomes. And this reinforces your autonomy. The real win is having the courage to challenge yourself and pursue what makes you come alive. Your version of more is yours alone, and finding it means being brave enough to let go of comfort and walk toward what really matters. It also means looking for making your own life. So if you are finding yourself at crossroads, right, where you want to do something in your life to progress, right, to make progress, and you are conflicted between that choice and the choice of doing nothing, Dr. Shade is telling us to ask ourselves three questions, right? The first question is, what do I gain if I do this now? Number two is, what will this cost me if I avoid it now? Number three is, what will this cost me in 6 months or 12 months? Ask yourself those three questions. If you find yourself, still wondering between you taking action and you not taking action, ask yourself, what do I gain if I do this now? What will this cost me if I avoid it now? What will this cost me in 6 months or in 12 months? Finally, do something, even if it's one tiny step. Be it you submitting that application, be it you putting on the shoes, be it you scheduling the call, whatever that's what you need to do. By shifting focus to why it matters, the cost of not doing it, you disrupt your brain's default bias and create a pathway to an action. So she's saying that every time you choose to do something hard, uncomfortable, or inconvenient, you are sending yourself a signal. You are telling yourself that I trust myself to act even when it's hard. Each small decision becomes proof this was hard, but I choose to do it anyway. I'm in control. Feel the discomfort, own it, and reinforce your autonomy. When we face constraints head on, something surprising happens. We become more creative. Limited often forces you to think harder, adapt faster, and innovate smarter. Okay, I'm dozing. It's exactly 58 past 10, and I think I'm ready to go sleep. And I'm really just proud of myself. I'm proud that I showed up today to just read because, to be honest, this has been something that I've been slacking in on. Rather, I am an avid reader. I love reading. This is simply because I want to improve my life. I want to make sure that I move an inch at least each day. And over the past 10 months, I've not really been reading as I hope to, simply because we have a little one, and yeah, motherhood all the time. So I'm just happy that I took this time while she's sleeping to just read in a bit, and I'm really liking this book by Dr. Shade, Big Trust. And I hope to continue tomorrow. Probably I'll just read the rest of the pages um, at work during my lunch hour. Also, I'll be going live tomorrow between 1 and 2 so that I can just read this part. And yeah, bye, Anaki. I'm so proud of you. I love you so much, Anaki. And good night.